Welcome in this new video. In this video, we're going to look at some issues that we can have with earned value management. In the previous videos, we've been looking into the way to use earned value management, some items that we must consider, and we also started to evaluate the results that we found. How can we use them to improve project success? Now, what I want to do in this lesson, it's more about looking at the limitations so that you're better armed against certain things that may happen, interpretations, and that you can present a real good view on the project to the sponsor and the stakeholders. Like I said many times, earned value management or earned value analysis is a great tool, but what happens about the time and the cost estimates that we created during the project planning process step? How to deal with the level of effort activities? Are we getting the correct information? Is our schedule information correct? So these are 4 important parts that I want to address in this video. So let's first have a look at the first element. What about the time and cost estimates that we obtained during project planning? Earned value management or earned value analysis is a very interesting method when we use it properly, and we've been discussing that in the previous lessons since the beginning of this course, but it's very important to review these things and to discuss it deeper. Now you have gained a better and deeper understanding of earned value management. Like everything in a project, all things start with the definition of the project, all these elements. And when we look at earned value management, it's also about identifying the activities. How long will it take to complete an activity? What is the cost associated with the activity? And based on this, we're creating the project schedule. Or when we're working in Agile, we look at the product backlog, and we're looking at the different sprints when we discuss Scrum. When we look at the different ways to allocate cost as we described it in this course, we also looked at how should it be distributed over the activities. And the way we defined it is based on the experience by many people before us who have been using earned value management, who have been finding better ways to apply earned value management and get realistic and good results. We want to realize that we have a plan, including schedule and cost, that is realistic, as realistically as possible. And what we want to do is to describe the actual situation, how we assume the project will evolve over time. A correct planning and estimation are integral parts of a successful and properly applied earned value management. And we must, in fact, carry out everything properly to ensure a correct earned value management reporting. The estimates at completion, all these parameters will only have a value, can be used properly when we apply the rules of earned value management correctly. One of the items that we always talk about is the level of effort activities. Level of effort activities are those activities like project management, quality management, which do not lead to the creation of deliverables. They are always on time, but their costs may vary. For example, an increase or decrease to the people working on project management activities will have respectively a negative or a positive effect on the actual cost or the cost estimates, and it will, of course, influence the estimates at completion. If we add more people, so we increase the cost, it will mean that our cost estimation, when we include them into the earned value analysis, we'll see that the estimates are higher So we are in a more negative position, which may lead to a decision to kill the project, even when it is not true. On the other hand, when we have level of effort activities which have been reduced in cost, that may have a negative effect because we're looking at everything in a positive way. We think the project is doing well, but in fact, we are not doing a project the way it should be. The decreased level of effort costs will also decrease the total cost of the project, so our estimates will be too low. In order to have a correct evaluation, it is important to remove the level of effort activities from the project and consider the earned value management methods at this moment, calculate the estimates at completion, and then add those elements to the estimated costs after completing the calculations. Of course, when we look at the cost that we already have incurred, we will see that, of course, we paid for the level of effort activities, and those costs must also be included in the final estimate at completion when we add again the level of effort activities. When we would not do this, we will have errors in the extrapolation. We will either estimate that the outcome will be too low or too high, and in some cases even on target. But it's very important to make that distinction. Another element when we're dealing with earned value management is very important to get the correct information. We need the correct data. The correct data will provide us with all the elements to get the information about how is our project doing. People should be motivated and basically encouraged to share these with the project manager and the team, because we can only have a correct prognosis when we are dealing with the correct data. When people are too optimistic, that's something what should be avoided. People sometimes think, yes, but I can do it anyway. I will compensate for it in the next period. And these things may be working for a certain time, but once we start looking at the real data, it may even be too late to take corrective action. So an environment in which openness is accepted and we will not shoot on the messenger. Like typically, the messenger is saying us there is an issue, we will have to deal with it. And it's sometimes that people have the tendency to hide the bad news. They want to be optimistic and they believe that they can recover the delays and the cost overruns. When I'm making this course, I made a kind of a planning and things like that just to work and to have an idea. At this moment, I'm approximately 1 week late. I wanted to finish this course last week, and I was telling to myself, yes, I can do it. And then I realized I'm teaching this course, and I'm telling the things that you shouldn't do. And I said, okay, I will make a new planning, and I will see what I try to do and see how can I do it better. Recording this is very stressful because I have to talk. I don't prepare my text, so I'm teaching like I'm teaching in the class, and it drains our energy. So basically, trying to be too optimistic is not helping. On the contrary, it's having a negative effect, because when I promise something to the people I would sell this course to, I cannot sell it because it's not ready. When I'm looking at myself, I feel stressed because I have to push the thing. So I said I will do it differently. I will be looking at what I expect to do with some things I would love to do in addition. And if I can do a little bit more, I will feel happier. If I do a little bit less, I accept it and I try to find ways to do it better by better rest and things like that. So telling this to the people or telling to other people, it's in fact important that we have an open mind to the people who are working on the project. Many people are hiding things because they're afraid to be punished. So when I'm looking at my work here, am I being punished? No, not really. Of course, I'm the only one to deal with, but if you're working in a company and people are late, you should try to find ways that people get support, that people know that there is something wrong, and basically supporting the people will help them or help you to obtain the correct information. People will come to you and say, hey, I have an issue here. There is something wrong. Can you help me? How can we find a solution? And the situation will improve because, okay, you're late. It's not a crime to be late or you're spending more. Try to find out ways how to improve by working together with everybody. As a project manager, accept the information, look at the reasons, but don't play on the person. Another element which is important is about the scheduling information. Now, when we look at the schedule and we look at the earned value information, we are looking at the macroscopic level. So we are looking at all the activities together. And what we obtain is a macroscopic schedule variance and an SPI. When we look deeper into the project and we look at the Gantt chart, we look at the different activities, we may identify where the schedule variance and the SPI are coming from. We may discover more details. We'll talk about that later. One of the elements is we say is negative schedule variance or an SPI smaller than 1 means that we are not performing on schedule like we planned. But does it mean that we are late? What is happening with the different paths? Where does the negative effect comes from? Is it from the critical path? Is it from the non-critical path? These are two different items I will discuss later in these videos also. How are the critical paths evolving? What are the delays on the critical paths? We may have multiple critical paths. How are those paths evolving relative to each other? What is happening with the non-critical paths? All these things we should evaluate and have a look at the real situation. We must look further than just the numbers. The number, the SPI, is giving us a macroscopic evaluation of the schedule performance. And that's important to understand. So that's an introduction of this chapter or this lesson where we're going to look deeper in all these different things related to earned value management. And I'm trying to give you tools to evaluate things up to a different level, to a higher level, and understand the essence of earned value management. That's it for this video. I thank you very much. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos.